Alright, so in this one, I am going to be reacting to Goresh's top 10 best character list in the game of Dragon Ball Legends. Right now, as of mid-December, obviously his list, my list, everyone's list will change, as I had done my list prior to this video. By the way, check that video out. Clearly, I would have an opinion that might be differential to his and or even similar in some spots, right? Definitely will be spots where we most likely do agree that this unit's like this top tier or this bottom tier, you know, all these things. But I have been told by people that this would be something they would want to see me react to Goresh's tier list. I've done it before, his top 10 list, and, you know, for the most part, I would say the basis things that are, like, important, that matter, that are, like, the top tier units are usually, like, all and a similar idea to mine, his own, and everybody else's in like the community. And you know, I want to see this one here, so I'm curious. We're gonna start. I need to get headphones actually, and we can begin. So with that being said, I will skip around if there are things I just completely agree with. There's no real argument to be had and or a discussion to be had there, because I just completely agree with it. But if there is things I do disagree with, obviously those are things I will point out and be like, okay, this is why I think this. And if he thinks this, clearly we hear it out, and then we go from there, right? That's the whole point of these, to get the feel and say-so of what others think compared to what you think. That's what discussion is, and that's kind of what this is, I would say. But let us see. Well, reaction / discussion. Discussing the reaction. We continue.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be covering another installation
so this is
in
the intro here. Obviously, he's going to introduce what's going to happen. So we're going from
of the game.
bottom to top, right?
A character that posts itself, and let's start with number 10. Coming in at number 10 on the list, a character that just made it into the top 10. I have LF 17 and 18.
I don't agree. For myself, I put them as 12. Could they argue? Maybe 10? Maybe? But could they ever argue over LF Trunks, who I'd have as 11? I would say no. So for me, I don't agree, but let me hear his reasonings for this.
Character that at this point is pretty old. I mean, they came out in April of this year, so they're around 8 months old, which is, in Legends terms, pretty old. And once you get to the point of being like 8+ months old, you start to really fall off pretty heavily. But the fact that the androids really haven't fallen off.
Look at USV.
Again, let's be honest.
He's 4. Bro's 4.
It's not to the level that you would think of a character being 8 months old here. So that just goes to show how incredibly powerful they were on release, that they're still able to compete in this day and age here. But they're on the list because I think they're actually a really nice tool versus the new blue Zamasu. Obviously referring to the Android 18 side of this character. Zamasu is just a character that is incredibly tanky, pretty much able to eat combos from any character, including like Beast Gohan even. Without even really caring about how much damage he's taking, because he has endurance, he's healing tons of HP, he has a counter. It's just a really annoying character to deal with. But this character, with their ability to nullify endurance pretty much against any character, just built into their unique ability, makes them a pretty nice tool to use against the Zamasu. They're probably one of the
I want to say something, but I don't know if he's going to mention it.
Deal with him without really that many issues. They have a pretty consistent way of getting cover nullification, obviously. Android
He's not mentioning it?
Everybody knows.
Okay, so I'm going to mention it. What he means by that, I assume this is what he means by that. Maybe he doesn't mention it, or maybe this is not what he means. But this is what I get from that. Where he says 18 doses of Zamasu, you might be thinking, but the key issue. Well, when you drop combo and you kind of reset, you get ki back, right? So I'm thinking that's what he means. Like, you drop combo, it's like Zamasu coming in, okay, maybe you don't have your full ki, but you have like, okay, now 30 ki or 40 ki, because you drop comboed into him coming in, and or if you kind of like get that that situation going with 18, I'd assume that's what he means, where he could, you know, deal with Zamasu very well. Would I particularly say they're the greatest option? No, because again, you are starting out at disadvantage, right? Like, you're facing Blues, you're facing Beast, you're facing Zamasu, you're facing Vegeta Trunks, and them tagging out is not very difficult for them. Like, you're facing Blues that are spooky, and with the low entry, I feel like that's not going to be brought up, but the low entry is like their biggest criminal offense. Like 90% entry is nothing. Like, that is nothing in comparison to anything nowadays if you don't really have much utility behind it. Their utility is their drops, and if you don't get drops, which, I mean, there's so many cover changes, dude, it's really hard to like get like these perfect drops. There's so many one-shot situations. Like, if I try to drop against Beast Gohan and then I get like PV'd off that drop, guess what? I'm getting one shot at Beast Gohan. Okay, well, great. I try to use my androids, then I got fucking O-code, and it's like that situation of their not full defensiveness, because they're not very defensive, and their offense is being more reserved behind something. I feel like would kind of push them down. I get what he means, though, with like the Zamasu helping. That's a thing. And the Cover and All being ease of access. That's also true. But their early damage, I feel like, is too inconsequential in comparison to their later. But if he says more here about this, I'd be curious.
Green card, which removes your Vanish and gives you Cover Null, can win you games in certain situations.
Yeah. Well, if you save it that long, yeah.
Help
but
with the
that's kind of hard
to
to do.
Gotten recently in the game, so that helps them also.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of why they're only number 10 on the list here, Beast Gohan just like probably the biggest counter to this character
that's a problem.
In the game, period. It just
True.
becomes very, very difficult.
It also has good yellows.
18 can
for 18, right?
kind of fare okay against Beast Gohan, but
I mean,
Beast Gohan is so
Puddle,
type neutral, but
you got yellows.
Defensively, that it almost doesn't even matter that 18 has type advantage.
They're not really yellow.
So that's the one.
Vegeta Trunks.
Beast Gohan to me has been
the
most used character that I've encountered.
Just to say, Vegeta Trunks, Vegeta's full advantage to the androids, whether it be 17 or 18 in. That's how the reverse mechanic works. Vegeta's full advantage to the androids. So, that's the newest, hottest unit. So I'm assuming here that he won't value Vegeta Trunks very highly because, well, one, they weren't even mentioned on, the counter outs to the droids. And then, because that is a counter out, obviously, 18 is the main thing he just mentioned. The counter out to 18 would be a yellow. Vegeta Trunks, hello, they start yellow, and Vegeta maintains full advantage. So I'm assuming he's going to rate them lower than probably I'd anticipate or even have myself. Again, my tier list, check that out. It's up prior to this. That's just my guess off of him not really mentioning that. That's where I kind of garner from this. So this will be interesting.
More often than not, you're going to be fighting Beast Gohans, and in that sense, this character doesn't do the greatest against him. And then, just in general, I think defensively also, they're not really up to speed with the majority of
the most units aren't defensive, but they are not as well.
It just goes back to them being 8 months old, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But overall,
also tag units get kind
of
screwed on
future
stats.
In the right situations, they can
it makes
do
sense why.
Pretty good work, I think. They're number 10 on the list. Let's move on to number 9.
Okay.
Number 9, we have LF Zenkai Rose Goku Black, and this might...
I have him 10. I feel like people think that's high. I got bro 10. He has him 9th. I'm excited to hear this. These are units that I agree. Well, the droids I can see. Rose, though, I agree. I could see him being highest 8th. Highest. Like, peak. If I'm coping, he's 8th. 9th, though? I'll take a 9th when I put him 10th. I love Rose. Love this guy.
Position for this character. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't even have this guy on their list.
Oh, yeah. People won't even have him top 20.
Like
people don't like him.
I think they did a good job with him in not making him too good, but also, not making him too bad either. Not reserving and holding back too much on this character.
All right, relax. They did nothing for him. His Zenkai did fucking air. He just got stats. He got a VB Zenkai, bro. He did get nothing, to be real. But it's because he doesn't have a plot yet, and they're kind of, like, I guess, savoring the moment for him. Like, he's still good right now, but it's like, they did nothing for him. Like, they did nothing. They didn't do shit.
Is actually pretty good.
Got card draw and drop combo.
To extend combos with the strike card that he draws whenever facing space with an enemy. And then
yeah, he already did that, though. See? Hello, ads! We don't skip ads. Well, we do skip ads when we can, but we don't skip unskippables. We don't have ad block, is more my point. Hey, please don't get me copyrighted. Hey! Please, it's lo-fi, no copyright, please.
As well, whereas he never even used to get key off of
God,
there.
please don't copyright.
That's pretty nice. That actually does catch a lot of people off guard. So let's say you Rising Rush somebody.
And then afterwards you do a strike because people expect
the
cards.
Endurance, you're probably going to want to Rising Rush a lot of times with this Rose. And what that does is, let's say you Rising Rush against a hybrid team. They, sacrifice Red Pan, for example. After you've killed Red Pan with
then
this
you do
Rose,
a strike. Because they expect you to have,
let's just say
have
Beast
no
Gohan
cards.
Switches in for the opponent. You instantly are going to be drawing a strike card and getting back 20 keys, so you're instantly ready to fight back. This Rose has the ability
Didn't he do that
to,
pretty sure he
counter
did.
Tackles right away after that, where generally a lot of units after they rush, obviously you start off with 0 cards in your hand, unless you have like double.
Please mention with his 100% cut penetration on main ability. Please, dear God, mention it, because it is so under talked about, and it is insanity to have 100% cut pen on main for every card. Please mention it, Goresh. Please. Please.
You're not going to really have an effective way to
It's so good.
Your hand
it's his best thing ever. And his blue card.
Rose can, instantly be ready to fight back. So that does make a difference. It leaves you a lot less open to counterattacks like that. And I just mentioned the anti-endurance tech that this Rose brings to the table, and I think endurance is a pretty big factor in today's meta. Future Gohan is on a lot of teams.
Puddle.
Beast Gohan obviously is, I think, just the most used character in the game.
Zamasu.
obviously has endurance when you rush. And then now we have Zamasu as well, also has endurance. So a lot of these top teams...
My same points!
Endurance, with, I think, GT probably being the only super competitive...
GT's a bitch. GT's a bitch to deal with for every team, to be real.
Really
Cover
well
rescues are fucking wild. And the lower sub count. It's so crazy, GT's rush control.
Blue card can go type neutral for him and do pretty good damage to them. And then in terms of why he's only 9th on the list and not higher, he doesn't necessarily do the craziest damage. He actually does give a pretty decent main ability effect. It gives him 100% penetration to enemy sustained damage cut for 30
Spittin'!
Pretty good.
Go! Pretty good! What? Only like 3 units have 100% cut pen. That's fucking busted! 100% cut pen? This is how I see it. Yes, his main damage as an overall unit is not that high tier. It's subpar to what you'd want, right? 100%. But after main, bro is cooking storms. You might have 90% damage relief. You might even have 80 at that rate. But you're going through everyone's cut. Beast has 60%. LF Trunk 60%. You have fucking Zamasu 70% cut. You have the feature boost cuts. You're going through all of those cuts. All these big numbers of percentages. And you're saying, nah, I'm good. You're beating the fuck out of people with Rose post main. Always. Every single thing, especially on blue, because his blue card goes neutral, does AoE damage. You're beating the ever-living shit out of people post-main. Him and Gogeta Blue have the same exact main. One is just more key than the other. Both have 100% cut pen. Rose, that main, crack cocaine. It is so understated. Please, test him in yourself, in your matches. I don't know. Fucking LBR, go training battle, I don't care. Test his damage pre-main to post-main. You will see the most significant increase. And you'll be like, wow, I genuinely didn't notice this. And now, holy fuck, maybe you value Rose a little bit differently. Or you just don't give a fuck about him still. But it is so cracked. Thank you, Goresh.
And then his ultimate does hit fairly hard. But other than that, like
his ultimate's
strike cards, his blast...
I'm sorry to say, his ultimate's quirky as fuck. It does more damage the less enemies, but yet his overall damage is more the more enemies. It deadass makes no fucking sense. Zamasu works in a better light, where he just kind of like does more ult damage when there is less enemies. Makes more sense, at least to me. At least you would kind of save the ultimate for like the big move, right? Kind of like LF4 coup. Rosé's backwards. That's stupid. That's stupid as fuck. But he can have some stupid. He's still very good.
Cards. Wouldn't really consider this guy the hardest hitting character in the game. His blue card does do AoE damage, but it's not going to. You know, it's not like
it do be neutral.
Full power Frieza decimating
neutral
one blue card. It's not
respect it a little bit.
And then the other thing I'll mention is this guy doesn't really have the greatest defensive capabilities either. He does have Zenkai stats, so based off of those, he should be able
to... He got no cut. He got, like, no cut on Zenkai, like, bro. He got no damage, no cut. Like, bro got a Vegito Blue. He got a fucking... the Sapphire Defender. Like, he ain't got shit, bro.
You know, against the Super Saiyan 4s, when Vegeta switches in, I wouldn't really have this Rose tanking those hits. He's not a character that you can really throw in there and expect to do well.
That is type disadvantage.
He can be annoying. He applies debuffs.
Come on.
He's,
I understand that, but you know.
So he has some uses, and I think he's a very technical character, and I'm comfortable with him being at number 9. So let's move on to number 8. All right, coming in at number 8, we have GT. And
genuinely, I agree. I would say, for me, again, watch my tier list if you didn't see it. I have this guy at number 8, but I have Broly as number 9. So, and Rosé's number 10. I don't have the Joys on my list. Again, they're like 12. So, yeah, I agree with this. I deadass don't need to hear it because I know the exact reasoning why he'll say this. Also, I feel like this video will be very long because I'm already like double the length because I'm gassing these other units. So, yeah. While I respect it, I obviously understand it, right? Because I'm already there. Okay. Thank you for concealer.
This guy is...
Oh! Hi! Broly! Okay, well, I had him one lower. I had them swappable, like I said. But, yeah, okay, sure. Once again, I agree. Like, I always say 17 and Broly are swappable. I've been saying this for days at this point. It's been like a week almost since I made my initial tier list on Twitter. And I still feel that way. So, okay. Swappable. If I agree with it, I feel like there's no discussion to be had if we're both in the same, like, argument's sake. Unless I'm trying to defend it from everyone else hating on these units, right? So we move forward once again. Very nice, very nice. Very happy to see agreements. We like agreements.
Better movies characters.
It seems more concrete, like a list at that point.
Saying on the team, this guy will make a comeback, and you guys will see why he's so good. Okay, coming in at number 6, we have LF Future.
Puddly Boy, huh? Is Puddly Boy number 6 for me? Is he? Wait, let me pull this up. Is he number 6 for me? Puddly Boy? No. Yes. No. Puddle is 7 for me. Okay. So, if they're one off, I see no difference. Obviously, he has a unit that I don't have on the list, right? So, it's going to be one off. But
at this point, this guy
one off means really nothing. If they're like 10 off, really sure. One off, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Know how he works. The all-around master. He's
support. He's a worse Pan, but he has endurance. I mean, that's the whole breakdown of Puddle. There again, if I have it so similar in my own opinion, it's just a W. That's all. We just got a big fat W. Big fat W's all around. Very nice. And obviously, if we agree with one another, me and Goresh, or like me and someone else, or me and this, or them and I, that's obviously a good thing, and I feel like that's good overall. Doesn't mean we're 100% right. Doesn't mean you have to agree with us. No. But that just means if we can agree, then we probably see some silver linings to the unit that maybe you could see if you don't agree with us. That's kind of, again, the whole premise. That you kind of see both perspectives if there's a disagreement or there's agreement.
At some point it'll fall off. We'll see. Maybe in 2025. But yeah,
yeah, barely.
Gohan, number 6. Let's move on to the top 5. Okay. Moving into the top 5 here, we're going to start off with Dragon Ball Super Superhero Pan. I'm sure you guys know how this character works. Not going to spend an eternity talking about.
So I have Pan as number 4. The reason I'm hmming in this situation, it's not because of the 1 differential, because I think, okay. I get where he's going with this. Well, if I know number 1, I don't know what number 1 is for him. Okay. I can see this. I personally think Zamasu and Pan are very interchangeable as, like, 3 to 4. Like, they are right next to each other. You change them. I don't give a fuck if, you say Pan's better, Zamasu's better. I think they're very interchangeable because team-wise, Pan is just better, right? Like, hybrids, the support, the craziness that Beast can do on that team, that's better. But Zamasu individually, and with an okay, pretty good team, like at least, a top 5 team probably, right? Of anything that he can, like, culminate with, makes him better. So you could obviously swap them. I would say that. But Pan being a spot fully below Zamasu, that's interesting to me. I'm curious about this. Why is Pan a little bit lower than probably expected?
In the game by far. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. The amount of damage she provides to her team.
She's Vados and Puddle mixed into one.
It's literally insane. On top of her being a hybrid Saiyan, so she's pretty much just the perfect partner you can have for Beast Gohan. As well as a good leader slot unit for any
HP.
Team.
Yeah.
I remember when this character was first shown off, and I tweeted out like, "Yeah, you just put Pan on any team, like this GG, and she can support them as well as anyone else can." I think that's probably still applicable today, even on like GT. You could just throw Pan on GT and leader slot. You can just throw Pan on.
I mean, that's what it is at that point. Beast for Sun Fan, right?
Might even just be straight up better than normal builds for those teams, just because of how insane this character is. And it's not just from her kit as well. Her Z ability. She does actually provide HP as well as critical, I think, from her Z ability to Sun Family. So you don't need to worry about including, other HP buffers on your bench, unless you want to have multiple HP buffers, which I think is a pretty viable strategy now. It's always really been viable having multiple HP buffers, but I think especially now it does work pretty well in the meta. But yeah,
that's
a ridiculous character.
I don't agree with that.
And then also not just damage either, right? The sub-count manipulation is unmatched, I think, in my opinion. And that is what makes her, I think, a better character.
I assume he means the green card sub-count manipulation. That's unmatched. I agree with that. But if we're talking about like the overall sub-count manipulation, I'm pretty sure Zamasu has the same lower allied sub-count. The same type of effect as like Green Vegeta, but I assume he means the green card, right? The green card, the main ability, the lower sub-count there.
In terms of support,
he's right on that.
Than someone like the GT Android 17, which we looked at earlier in this video, right? I think the 17 is probably a better fighter than this Pan because that 17 does more damage.
True.
He's a more well-rounded
endurance,
character. But in terms of
very important, very
support role on the teams that they're on,
he mentioned it.
You can't really touch her. Sub-count manipulation through the main ability, sub-count manipulation through the green card, sub-count manipulation every time she gets hit, right, for Gohan and Piccolo allies. So, yeah, she's just a ridiculous support character. And then in terms of why she's not higher on the list, I guess, number 1, damage is horrible. Like, her damage is terrible outside of her blue card.
Okay, I agree with that.
She has no cover
it needs to build up.
Card draw speed, but
it's not great.
You're not really using this Pan for damage.
She's your pivot.
Stack up damage
She's like Puddle. She's a pivot.
Allies by
That's
using cards, which is kind of a double-edged
She's your
sword
pivot.
because she's not doing
Disrupt.
much damage herself, but she is stacking up damage buffs for the allies to do more damage later on. And we are at a point now where this Pan, as well as the Piccolo and Gohan that came out with her, no longer have access to the featured boost. So their boost period is now over. And then now that she's fallen out of boost, her defense is just not there anymore. You can tell it is a pretty big difference. So characters like
I do not agree with that. Look. This is how I've been using Pan since Pan existed. It's the way I've been told to use Pan. You build her as the unit she is. What I mean by this is you built her for sustain, to live. So you gave her HP, defense, HP, defense. You gave her literally triple HP equips. You did this for Vados during her shine during the Ultra Kaioken meta, right? Where it was green, green, yellow, and you had Vados, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then Kaioken. You built Vados literally triple HP. You didn't give a fuck about her output. You didn't care about it. It didn't matter. It was inconsequential. She didn't matter. This is the same exact circumstance. So if you weren't already building Pan for HP, you were probably just incorrectly using her, to be real, because what you want is to have her sustain with that HP setup, and then from there, okay, Beast can get more support because Pan lived longer. Beast could get more support because Puddle lived longer. And then this flow of rotation was a lot more accessible because you had a more defensive setup. If you were ever building her for offense, it was more just to see what she could do individually, and that's not what a support type does. Puddle, am I building Puddle for like this crazy output? Let me give him double Pures and give him all this extra strike damage? No, you're building him for this disruption factor. Sure, he's not going to be the tankiest guy in the world, but he'll be a little bit tankier than he once was. That's why his plot equip is more meant to be tanky than offense, right? Similar thing to Pan. I feel like she's not that far off where she was from boost on defenses. I don't think any unit that I've used that was on boost feels much different than they were off to on. I don't feel there's much differential at all, honestly. Especially in an output setting, but like defensive wise, you would be able to see that more. I don't see that in Pan. I see her defenses, clearly they've gone down, but I'm building this Pan for triple HP anyways with double defense equips anyways. I don't really notice it because I already had this tanky build of her. So to say she's not really defensive, I don't vibe with that. I don't think that's true at all, actually. I think she has the disruption that allows her to be defensive and bulky enough to work, right? Especially if you're building her in a defensive manner, which should have always been the case.
The tag Super Saiyan 4s really do a number on her, even type neutral.
So make it loud for this group that's ready to give you a
Hello,
show.
Mr. Ad. Hello. How are you doing?
Joy to the world. Joy. What is you doing? I can't use one more member? I mean, like
Go, Ad, go. Go, bestie, go. Go, Ad. Go, bestie, go. Go, bestie. 2 15-second ads! God! Do you guys get these ads on my videos? 15-second ones, unskippable? I'll lose it if I get these more.
I've had Goku, I've
Support
used,
your creators. Watch their
tag 4s
ads.
against
Don't
Pan,
skip them.
And I've had other
Be
people
nice.
use tag 4s against my Pan post boost. And yeah, that Goku could definitely one-shot her with a blue card from full.
Oh yeah, he can. Yeah, Goku could almost one-shot Beast with the blue card type neutral. Bro hits hard.
Major loss in defensive.
He's good.
Utility
Force is good.
Post boost.
He's good.
Still just as good of an offensive support. Still just as annoying to fight. And I see this Pan being a massive issue moving forward as we continue to get other characters that synergize well with her. So number 5 is Pan.
More?
Let's move on to number 4.
More characters for
Coming in
her?
at number
Please
4,
no.
We have Zenkai L.
Forku. Okay. So me personally, how I viewed this was they're swappable, right? Well, they're not swappable. I had them swapped rather, where I had Forku below Pan. I had Forku in a 5th positioning and Pan in a 4th. I just noticed Vegeta, Trunks, Vegeta aren't mentioned. There's no way he thinks they're top 3, I'm pretty sure. Because he didn't even mention them to counter the droids. He doesn't have them top. He doesn't have them in this list, huh? I mean, I understand it to an extent. Maybe I don't agree fully. At, like, lower stars, I do understand that you could have them not here. Below 9 stars. I could see an argument for not top 10 for Trunks Vegeta, but if these are all at 14, which I'm assuming because Goresh, 14 stars every unit basically. I mean, they gotta be here, man. I'm sorry, but there's no real argument against them. Yes, they're a balanced and unbalanced game. We've said this a million times. They still do very nice output. They still have the tag mechanic. They still get Vanish back pretty decently. Still have some cover null. They have good usage. They have good color even for right now. Because there's 3 fucking purples on Bro's list, right? 17 Rose. Broly being yellow kind of matters. Having Pan on the list, well, being blue kind of matters. And then also having the droids on the list, which Vegeta's full advantage too. You gotta slap them on somewhere. They're on hybrids. They're on future. I mean, Vegeta Trunks, they're good enough to be top 10. I don't know if it's more he hasn't used them enough. I don't know what it is, but to say they're not top 10, that's kind of like, oh. Forku though, I can understand this. Again, me personally, I would have Pan above just because the output setting is so just incredible with that setup that he's mentioning with, triple hybrids, obviously, of Pan, Puddle, Beast. But I can understand Forku. I wouldn't argue Forku being, below, like, top 6. I would say he has to be, like, minimum on 5th or above. The highest I would put him is, like, probably 4th, to be real. But this makes sense. I don't need to hear this because I can see it. I don't agree with it, but I can see the reasoning for Forku. Again, the cover rescues, all the stuff he's going to explain, I could explain back to you, which I did in my tier list video. By the way, comment the word case if you made this part of the video. But I can understand why Forku's up here. I would still have Pan above, personally, though. Number 3.
Alrighty, so coming in at top 3,
I agree.
the number 3 spot on the list.
I agree. Yes, he's defensive. His green card can stop rushes. He's ridiculous. Endurance, lower sub count, support, decent damage, not the worst. Better than Pan's damage, at least. In between Pan and 17's damage, but he's doing a lot more of the utility aspect of being a fucking live with all the key reduction. Yeah, Zamasu's him. Number 3, yes, I agree. I have number 3 for him as well. We continue, and number 2 will be
Festival 2022.
Darn it.
Really powerful.
Let me say, for myself, I have the 4's number 1. I will explain this in a TLDR, a very short form expose. How I have the 4's number 1 is because GT of its team. GT can have more than 1 unit on the team, essentially. Hybrids, while it is a very good team with the Pan, Puddle, Beast, you are essentially doing a 1v3, and without Boost, it makes that a little bit harder to do, even more so now. I thought this when it did exist on Boost, this team of Pan, Puddle, Beast, but even more so it's hard to do now. You have utility of GT with 4 of the cover rescue, with 17 of the endurance null on top of the sub count up, so you could just snipe out a Beast on a rush, pop that green card, boom, boom, boom. It's hard to do, yes, but does it exist? Exactly, it does exist. The amount of stay-in time with the Force, because you'll always do a combo into another combo from Goku to Vegeta back to Goku into a blue card, get a lot of vanishes, have that as well. The lowered sub count by 10 on rush, so you have your Forku come in and take that rush and or cover rescue you out because you have 2 cover rescues. The utility of GT, to me, makes me feel that the 4s are number 1 because the utility of hybrids is nothing in comparison. It is support, it is endurance, but I have units that can nullify endurance, and that is all their utility is on that team, right? The utility of GT, as I just mentioned, is a lot higher, which is why I personally had the 4s as number 1. Clearly, Beast will be number 1 for him here, and yes, Trunks Vegeta will not be on the list. But let's hear his reasoning. That's just why I would have the 4s as number 1 over Beast Gohan. A full team aspect. Individually, Beast is better, but full team-wise, the 4s team is a lot more comeback potential oriented, and having a lot more situations to get that. If you lose Beast, you lose the match. But if you lose the 4s, you can still win with Forku. If you lose Forku, you can still win with the 4s. If you lose 17, you can still win with the 4s and Forku, right? That's kind of how I'm seeing these things. If you don't agree, that's fine. But that's how my perspective is of the 4s being number 1 over Beast Gohan, because the team is a lot more in its own right to do its own thing compared to support. Okay, one guy. And if that one guy dies, the match does feel over at that point.
again, there's not really much negative things, like not really that many negative things I can say about this character. But in terms of why they're so high on the list here, I think the number one thing that I would attribute this to is their cover nullification consistency. I would say that the most important part of each fight is the first phase, quote unquote, of the fight, where both players have 3 units left, and you're both fighting to land that first kill.
I agree.
Blow, because
that's a very strong part of their kit. Me personally, I would say Goku's blue card, second strongest part of their kit, the most strong part of their kit. They rush, they ultimate, whatever they do, that's a big power move, which motherfucker's going to do very often because they want to get a sniper on your unit. Lowering sub count by 10 to get the fuck out of there and not die very quickly. That's their number one thing. Cover null is very good. I understand where he's coming from, but the lower sub count. That's always the most important thing because you can't control sub counts. You can't. You have to swap during circumstances. Getting caught, getting not caught. You can control that. Sub counts, you are very much forced to do situations that you don't want to do in this game. These units lowering sub count in any manner, or any unit doing it at all, value goes through the roof. Pan, value through the roof. Zamasu, value through the roof. Fours, value through the fucking roof. And units that can sustain long combos to also lower sub count. Beast Gohan, Vegeta of the 4s, value goes through the roof. That's where I say their number one attribute is.
It's a 2v3, and then the person that has 2 characters left typically is at a pretty big disadvantage. You have less vanishes to play with, and things just are much harder to deal with from a standpoint
snowball
of
effect,
versus the opponent having 3 characters. So that's where this unit is at its strongest, since they can grab 10 counts of cover nullification for tag switching. On top of that, Vegeta, in most instances, is able to string together so many cards.
They could go back to Goku with that blue card
for so long that you almost always end up finishing the combo with a Goku blue card that he guaranteed draws.
Yes.
The enemy can't
nullify
with cover rescue. So offensively, this character is extremely difficult to withstand, but the thing to remember about this character is that their damage isn't being dealt in short bursts, like with Beast Gohan most of the time. Rather, it's with long, drawn-out combo.
He's assuming the tag, like actually tagging out, right? I mean, Goku can literally, I've done it, frame 1, you just one-shot a Beast Gohan. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, you need to have this ideal setup and have a good situation going for you, but like, I've done it where like 5 counts into the match, blue card of Forku, of the 4s, obviously. Okay, Beast Gohan's dead. The match is over. The match already ended, and it was versus that hybrid setup. Like, I've had that happen. So I understand what he means by burst potential isn't as extravagant as Beast. It's not. But they still have very good burst potential in general. Like, I assume in comparison-wise, he's right. But in total, they have very good burst potential. Their blue card is just destroy your hand. You have a full hand when you start. You have a blue card on the start, you catch them, you get your vanish back, and you're probably going to one-shot the unit, if not get very close to one-shotting.
So you at least have time as the person being attacked to most of the time switch characters and build up your combo compensation, stuff like that. They have an AoE green card that allows them to gain priority more easily and to start their rampage. As we just talked about, their cover nullification is going to kick in most of the time there. And it is a short animation green card as well, so even if they whiff it and you aren't ready to immediately counterattack, they can...
Yeah, it's the same length as Majin Vegeta's. Just easy
and I guess
comparison.
I also have to mention the sub-count manipulation as well. So this character has a mechanic where
Thank
you
you.
reduce ally sub-count by
That's
10
important.
when you use when the enemy uses
Ultimate
a
or rush
card or they rising rush. So they're always ready to switch out to a character that has endurance or can cover
rescue.
Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Exactly why GT has more value to me.
Sacrifice a different character off, which I think most of the time you would want to do with this unit, right? You're going to want to sacrifice most of the time a different character because it's such a valuable unit. If I had to say why this character is number 2 and not number 1,
let me hear it.
Again, I'm nitpicking here, but I'm trying to be very, very specific about things because if you're the number 1 character in this game, you're probably just ridiculously broken.
Yeah.
The number 1 thing I'd point out is probably Goku not having card draw speed. Although if he did have it, if Goku had card draw speed, I feel like that'd be too good. The best unit in the game.
Yeah. I think they'd like.
Picking it up.
I think they really.
Down. Like,
I think they'd really far surpass Beast if they had card. Dude, if Goku had card draw speed, holy shit. Bro, Goku does good damage to purples because he's critting so often, right? Like, now he does good damage to purples. Imagine card draw speed? How many more blues you draw? Dude, hell no. Hell no. Please, no. I understand what he means, how they could be better, but, like, Hell no. Thank God they don't have card draw speed on Goku.
Quite a significant margin. But
would not be close, honestly.
Speed, means it could be sometimes difficult for him to build up enough of his tag gauge.
But then you just go to Vegeta. It's like, it's not the worst thing. It's not like killing you.
Once Vegeta switches in, you pretty much know the combo is going to go on for a long time, because what I found is you switch into Vegeta, he's drawing a card, he has double card draw speed.
Lower card cost.
Almost every single time you go into Vegeta from Goku as a tag switch, Vegeta's able to use enough cards in that combo to go back.
Even against Pan and Zamasu, by the way, this is true. Like, even, I wouldn't say always during Zamasu's first combo, because that's like the big key reduction, but like most of the time versus Zamasu, he can still combo extend even with his key reduction to go back to Goku. Versus Pan, it's very easy. Versus Zamasu, it's a little bit more challenging, but you could still do all the cards usually, if not maybe one off, to go back into Goku from Vegeta. Like, he's ridiculous with the card cost lowering.
Back into Goku and then guaranteed draw the blue card. A lot of times, you know, you use
then
that
get Vanish
card,
back.
you can restore your Vanish because you already have multiple cards in your hand at that point in time. So that's where this unit becomes the strongest, right? You combo with Goku for a little bit, you switch into Vegeta. Vegeta's able to combo long enough to go back into Goku. You draw the blue card, which restores your Vanish and does tons of damage. It's just a cycle that continues like that constantly. But the difficulty in using this character is actually being able to grab the combo starter with Goku and then use enough cards to actually go into Vegeta to start the cycle again.
Do you need to... Like, I agree it is difficult to, like, get shit started. It's always going to be difficult, right? It's not really. I don't think it's the Force fault on that, honestly. I think it's easier with the Force because AoE green card, bro. Like, make them play aggressive on you one time. AoE green, okay, go fucking crazy, go bananas. You know, you got it. But, I don't think they're more difficult to start with anybody else. I think they're honestly one of the easier ones to start with, if anything. Like, what's easier to catch with, you know, a Blast Armor Strike-based unit or a non-Blast Armor Strike-based unit without an AoE green? Like, what's easier to catch with? Trunks and Vegeta without Blast Armor or the Fours? Like, the Fours are pretty easy to go with, right?
Really helped out Goku in that situation, but again, I think if he did have that, things might just have been a little bit too over the top. So I'm kind of glad he doesn't.
Yes, thank you.
And then I guess the other point to make in terms of nitpicking here, losing cover nullification if the enemy has less than 3 characters left.
That do be a bitch.
Annoying, but at that point, I mean...
You don't really need it. You don't need it.
Important, right? The cover
exactly.
becomes less important.
There's less units to cover change in, so it's not that important. It's important, but it's not that bad.
Because they have less options to switch to, and it becomes more predictable
exactly
when they're going to switch. It's easier to keep track of in your head. Okay, this guy's
count to 10
on 95 counts, so he can switch back in on 85 counts and stuff like that. So
we're the same.
We're
the same on this
one.
Less
than 3 characters probably isn't as important as Goku having potential card draw speed, but I think those two things, right? If they had both of those things, this would easily be the #1 character in the game.
Oh yeah,
but
individually, clearly.
I don't know. This character's really good. I think a lot of people significantly underrated them on initial release,
bro.
And I think
I'm just gonna mention people were calling them barely top 5 on initial look. People were saying that on this unit. You know how we all, like, gaslit... Because truly, we did gaslight the fuck out of the Trunks Vegeta. We were all saying, like, top 2, top 3, maybe even top 1. Probably not, but, like, maybe even top 1. We were gaslighting the fuck out of them. We did the opposite. Most people did the opposite with the Force. I've been having them top 3, personally. I've always said they were top 3. Never said they were anything below top 3. But motherfuckers had them, like... oh, they're barely above Forku, or they're barely above Puddle, and I'm like, bro, relax. Like, they were so downplayed, and they're still downplayed, honestly. And it's wild they're downplayed. That's really
pretty well. I don't really have too many nitpicks in terms of what I would have done.
They do what they do. They do their job.
They need to be.
They fuck shit up.
And I really like this character. Really, really good character. So #2, Tag 4s. Let's move on to #1. I'm pretty sure you guys know who's coming up.
Yeah.
Coming in at #1, we have Beast Go.
Again, I don't agree, because team-wise, but solo, yes, he is #1. Team-wise, though,
I guess to summarize this without going
that's more
on
important
too
to me.
long, I mean, you guys have fought this guy 900 times at this point. You guys know how this guy works.
Only 900?
Cover nullification, card
Must be
draw
nice.
speed, those 3 things together mean that if you start a combo with this character, you're probably winning the fight. It's that simple.
Yeah. If he's on that hybrid team,
at
yeah.
this point, again, like I mentioned with Pan, this Gohan has fallen out of the boost system, so he's no longer in the featured boost tier. I think there's definitely a difference in the damage as well as defense that this guy has.
I don't see it. I used them on his team, his ideal team. I see no difference.
Obviously. But in my opinion, it just wasn't enough to knock him off of his place.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even notice it.
He's just doing too much. He has so many ways to get his vanish back.
Mm-hmm.
He has so many ways.
I mean, he's going to describe the unit, right, if I want to hear end thoughts.
Number 2, tag Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta.
No, he's not end thoughts.
And then number 1,
right, well,
LF Beast Gohan. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, let me know down below if you guys agree or disagree with any position.
Well, this whole video is me agreeing or disagreeing. Overall, I'm shocked about Trunks Vegeta. You know, I'm one of the people that didn't like them at all. I'm the one, bro, I was on fucking front page of the Legends Reddit slandering them because I think they're going to age like shit. And genuinely, they probably are going to age like shit. And I even put them as, like, what, number 6. And it's like, oh, they're not even here. So that's the most, not even concerning. That's the most shocking part to me, to be real. But is there anything really, like, off, I would say, about this? Like, no, there's nothing like, here's FPF in top 15, and then, you know, this could be also, like, Jiren that's, like, top 12. Like, I don't see anything like that. Anything that's, like, out there, which I didn't expect to see. I usually don't see that from Goresh. I usually see that just from fucking Twitter, to be real. But, yeah, obviously the droids I don't agree with. I think their output's just too low early game. I think they're just too bad early game to compensate for their late game that could be okay. And their best could be okay because you're not doing these million drops. Like, against actual good players, you cannot do 52 million drop combos and get all their damage and ramping and going and going. That's not realistic nowadays, right? It's just they need too much of that to get that situation there, and it's, again, not realistic for them. So, the droids is the only thing I'd fully hard disagree with. The 4 Pan thing, I could see it. Everything else, though, Beast, Force, again, I think Beast is better individually, but the Force team is better, so I would rate the Force number 1. But overall, very solid. Again, the Trunks Vegeta thing, I would slap them personally somewhere around 6, 7, 5, maybe even as the peak threshold of them at 5, tied with, like, 4, but maybe there's not enough usage of them with him, or he doesn't like the idea of the Trunks Vegeta unit being as they are as a Blast Base unit or whatever it is. He didn't really touch on them as much as I'd hope, but they're not on the list, so it makes sense not to touch on them, right? But, yeah, solid. Shocked about Trunks Vegeta, but, you know, everyone has their differential takes, differential see-throughs of PvP, and this is his. Let me know what you guys think of my reaction to Goresh's top 10 best character list in mid-December of 2022. And I'll see you guys in the next one.